Okay, we are live. So here's what we're going to do for today. If you need a copy of Chapter 5 test, please text me and I can send you nice copies of it. But I'm going to show it right here. I'm going to set you up on these, but I'm not going to do them for you. You need to do them, but I'm going to help get you set up. But everybody needs to do the test. And you need to send me pictures of the test, and then I'll grade it, and then I will then send back to you your corrections. Okay, so everybody can still get an A on this test. You just have to do it. Okay, so let's take a look at number one. So number one, I'm going to take a look at it during substitution. I'm going to take my 3x plus y equals -9, and I write them side by side. Y equals 5x plus 7, and I'm going to do a substitution. So I'm going to take the 5x plus 7, which is equal to y. I'm going to plug it right in for y, and I'll rewrite this first equation as a 3x plus, not y, but what y equals, which is 5x plus 7 equals -9. Solve for x, and once you get x equals something, take that and plug it into there. Okay, you can do this. I have faith in you. Okay. Number two. What I noticed about number two, which I like so much, is that I've got an x and a negative x. So if I add these two, I can do it by elimination. X's cancel, and then I can get a 5x, or sorry, a 5y equals 5. I can solve for y, and then once I get y equals something, I'm going to take that answer and probably plug it into this one because the negative's on that one. So whatever you get for y, plug it into there. And then you can get the answer for whatever x is. So you get x plus 4y equals 6. Plug it in for y, and you get that one. Okay. Number three, I like this one also because, again, by elimination, I can see that if I add straight down, the y's will cancel. So if I add straight down, I get 9x plus 5x. I get 14x. Cancel, cancel equals something. Once you get x equals something, take that answer and plug it in. No, probably this one looks like the easiest one to plug it in because there's no negative, so I'd plug it into that one, into the 5x plus 2y equals -6. Whatever x is, just replace it there, okay? Number four, a little bit harder, but not too bad. I'm probably going to multiply this equation by +2 because I get a -6y with a +6y. Makes them opposites, and then I can use elimination. So let me rewrite equation 1, x plus 6y equals 28, and then on this one I multiply through, I get a 4x minus a 6y equals, what's that, a 38, -38. And then I can add, my y's cancel. Once I get the value of x, I get x equals something. You can figure that out. I'm going to take and probably plug it into the first equation because that looks like the easiest one to plug it into. Probably x plus 6y equals 28. I'd plug it into the x, okay? Okay, number five, you need to remember to shade. You've got to graph the line. You've got to shade. Start at -3, down 2/1, down 2/1. You've got to shade. It says greater than, so shade above. Number six, same thing. Dash line, because there's no equal sign, and I'm going to shade. Don't forget to shade. It says less than, so I shade below. You guys can do this. I'm practically doing the test for you, okay? 7. Okay, so I got two equations. I got a y greater than x minus 4, and I'm going to have a y is less than 5. Okay, my point has some x and y value. That's an x and that's y. So for instance, I'd go 5 is greater than -1 minus 4, and in this case I'd go 5 is less than 5. Is that true or not? I don't know. If it's false on either one of them, then it's no. On number 8, do the exact same thing. You're going to plug x and y. You're going to have these two equations to plug it into. If it works for both, then it's yes. Okay, you can do this. Number 9, we're going to graph the system. We're going to shade and shade. We're going to shade twice. We're going to shade, that's less than, below, dash line. Shade this one. It says greater than equal. We're going to shade above. So we're going to shade. We're going to shade again. And where the shading overlaps, we're going to make darker than the rest, and that's our answer. Okay. Number 10. So if I multiply by -2, it'll cancel my x's. But in fact, what happens probably is I think everything cancels. So that might tell you something to figure out what to do. Okay. 11. So it's either going to be one solution, no solutions, or infinite many solutions. Okay. Either one of these. One, infinite, or none, or no solutions. Okay. 11, I would do by substitution. I have a y equals a -x plus 3. So when I do substitution, I like to write them side by side. 2x plus 2y equals 4. I'll take and plug this one into here for y and solve and see what kind of answer I get. Okay. Moving on to the back page. I have two different equations. I know that I'm going to use y equals mx plus b. I've got the slope up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. I've got a slope up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. But I'm not going to use an equal sign. I'm either going to use a y is greater than, or y is less than, or one of those, or a combination. So you got to figure out which one of these it is. It might be a y is greater than that way. It might be a y is less than or equal to that way. Okay, you just got to figure it out. But I need two equations. Two equations. You can do this. I have faith in you. Okay, solve for x. It should be easy. You guys know how to do that. Solve for x. You can do that. That's easy. 14, because of absolute value, there are two possible answers. Two answers. You're going to have a 3x minus 4 equals an x, and a 3x minus 4 equals a -x. Okay, give me two answers. 15, I'm almost done. You and your friend are buying throw blankets with your names embroidered. Okay, the cost of the throw blanket is X dollars. Okay, so here's me. Here's my friend. I'm going to buy a blanket, and then I'm going to put 6 letters on my blanket. It looks like it's going to cost me $29. My friend is going to buy a blanket and 3 letters. It's going to cost my friend $24.50. Okay, so you just got to solve for there. Tell me the blanket. I need both blanket cost, and I want the letter cost of the letters. Okay, you can do that. And then the extra, set up two equations. One is the cost equation, and the second one is the number equation, amount, how many equation. Okay, good luck, and submit this to me, and you got to get this done. Now if you're already done and about a third of you are already finished, you get the day off. You can just relax, take the weekend off, and then on Monday we'll start up again. Okay, send this to me via text or email. If you need a copy of the blank test, I can send that to you if you just text me.